Have you ever walked into a place where the air itself feels heavy, where silence is louder than screams? Tonight, I'm going to tell you a terrifying story about a house that doesn't just keep secrets, it whispers them at midnight. If you dare, watch till the end, and don't forget to subscribe, because more chilling stories are waiting for you. The story. It was late autumn when Sarah moved into the old Ashwood House. From the outside, it looked abandoned. Its windows were cracked. Its roof sagged with years of rain and weeds choked the garden. But Sarah didn't care. She had lost her parents in a car accident 2 months earlier, and her uncle had given her the house as part of her inheritance. She just wanted peace, the villagers had warned her. "They say the house is alive," whispered Mrs. Clarkson, the old shopkeeper. "Alive?" Sarah laughed nervously. "They say it talks." At midnight, Sarah brushed off the warnings as superstitious nonsense, but deep inside, she felt uneasy. The first night was strangely quiet. Too quiet. No crickets, no wind, not even the sound of her own heartbeat, it seemed. As the clock struck 12 o'clock, Sarah heard it for the first time. A whisper, software faint, unmistakable. "Leave!" Sarah froze. The sound seemed to crawl out of the walls themselves. She turned on her flashlight, scanning the dusty corners of her bedroom. Nothing, just shadows. On the second night, it happened again, but this time, the whisper was louder. "Leave!" Before it's too late, Sarah tried to convince herself it was her imagination. Maybe the wind, maybe the pipes. But then she realized the house had no running water. The pipes had been dead for years. On the third night, Sarah decided to stay awake and record everything on her phone. Midnight came. At first, silence. Then, the whisper started. Not one voice, dozens. Men, women, children, all overlapping, all whispering the same thing. "Leave, leave, leave." Sarah's phone recorded everything, but when she played the recording back in the morning, there was nothing, just silence. The backstory. Determined to uncover the truth, Sarah went to the town library the next day. She searched through old records of Ashwood House. What she found made her blood run cold. In 1923, the house belonged to a man named Harold Grimsby. He was a wealthy doctor who ran an illegal asylum inside the house. Patients were brought in, but they never came out. Locals believed he performed cruel experiments on them. One night, the house caught fire. All the patients burned alive inside, their screams echoing through the night. Harold's body was never found. Since then, the house had remained abandoned. People who stayed there, even for a single night, either disappeared or went insane. The haunting grows. By the fifth night, Sarah was losing sleep. The whispers grew louder, more urgent, and then she started seeing them. At 12:15, shadows moved across the walls, though no light shone through the windows. Faces appeared in the mirrors, hollow-eyed, mouthless, screaming silently. On the seventh night, Sarah woke up with deep scratches across her arms. Something, or someone, had attacked her in her sleep. She decided it was time to leave, but the house had other plans. When Sarah tried to leave, the doors wouldn't open. The windows were sealed shut, though she had broken them earlier. Her phone had no signal. The house had trapped her inside. At midnight, the whispers turned into screams, deafening, blood-curdling screams that shook the entire house. Shadows swirled around her, pulling at her hair, her clothes, and in the middle of it all, a tall figure appeared. It was Harold Grimsby. His face burned, his skin melted, his eyes glowing like hot coals. "You will never leave," he whispered, his voice like broken glass. The climax. Sarah fought her way through the shadows, running to the attic. There she found an old chest. Inside it was Harold's journal. The last entry read, "They betrayed me. They tried to burn me alive, but I remain. And so will they. And so will anyone who enters these walls, forever." Sarah realized the only way to escape was to destroy Harold's remains. But where were they? She tore through the attic, searching desperately, until she found a small box hidden beneath the floorboards. Inside were Harold's ashes. She grabbed the box and ran down to the fireplace. With trembling hands, she scattered the ashes into the flames. The house roared. The walls shook violently. The whispers turned into shrieks of agony, then silence, and then darkness. The twist ending. The next morning, Sarah woke up on the floor. The house was quiet. Sunlight streamed through the windows for the first time. She thought it was over. She packed her bag and walked out of Ashwood House. The villagers stared at her in disbelief. "You survived," said Mrs. Clarkson. "No one ever survives." Sarah smiled weakly. "It's over. I destroyed him." But that night, in her new apartment miles away from Ashwood House, she heard it again. A whisper, software faint, unmistakable. "Leave!" And that was the story of the house that whispers at midnight. If you're still watching this in the dark, you're braver than most. But remember, some houses don't just keep memories, they keep souls. If you enjoyed this terrifying tale, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more horror stories every week. Until next time, sleep well, if you can.